It's time for a little comedy, a little content, and a lot of conversation. It's the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube. And now here's your host, Geno Jones.
Hey, it's showtime. What's happening, everybody? The Geno Jones Show. Pow! You see it. So I come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. normally, unless I tell you otherwise. Like one day next week. As a matter of fact, we'll have an earlier start time. We'll talk about that like this weekend. So please, you and everybody you know, everybody that you like, everybody that you French kiss, that you love. Folks you just say, yeah, all right. Folks you really can't stand. Folks you hate. Strangers, aliens from outer space. Tell them all to subscribe, to share, copy and paste the link, email it to them, however you need to do it. Screen grab it, put it up on TikTok, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Snapchat, on YouTube, of course, on Instagram, that we're going to be talking about in just a second. Well, Instagram is going to be part of the conversation. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch. Yes, binge watch all my back episodes, especially all the Bill Maher and the MAGA cult member followers that watched last night's show. Welcome. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of my feet, the tips of my toes, to the top of my head. I want to thank your ass for watching. And keep on watching. And tell all your crew, all your cult members, all your nationalists, all your insurrectionists, tell them to watch too. Because you guys, you'll learn a lot. Now, it's going to piss you off, some of it, because I know the famous line in the movie that my man Tom Cruise and Jack Nicholson was in. You want the truth, you can't handle the truth. Classic line. A few good men, yes. So, but we give it to you straight, no chaser. As my grandfather said, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, because truth needs no defense. Like I said, you might not like it, might not go down easy. It might completely go against everything that you taught, that you were taught, and that you believed in. But a lot of folks been believing in lies, and a lot of folks have been like willful ignorant. They know it's a lie, and as my grandmother said, they will stick to the lie because they want to believe the lie because they can't handle the truth. So let me get it right into it. Let me start off the very top of the show. Let me shout out some people on Instagram, some of the Bill Maher fans, and or maybe both, all the above, MAGA cult members who watched last night's show. Shout out to somebody on Instagram, Tim Nolan, a.k.a. Shithole. He's a big fan of Chicago. I guess he learned that from his boy Orange Hitler, the term shithole cities. You know, he said that when he was in office. And all the shithole cities were cities that had a high concentration of black people. Specifically black people, but black and brown people. So shout out to you, shithole. Thank you for watching. Who else we got here? We got Coburner 420, aka Dipshit. I like that name, Dipshit. How's it fit? Do you wear it well? Because I guess he missed my name somehow. I don't know who he was talking to. I think he was referring to himself. He was saying, Coburner 420, Dipshit. I'm Dipshit. So, Dipshit, thank you for watching. Barber Dime 35. So your haircut's only cost a dime? Wow, really? You get what you pay for. Be careful when y'all sit in that chair. Just saying, I don't know. He may be great, but maybe he's got a big heart. He just wants to give to the community and, use himself as a vessel to bless people by only charging them a dime for a haircut. I wouldn't bet a dime on that or any amount of money, but I'm just saying. And Ali Andromeda, Yes, Ali, I did answer Bill Maher's question. Why are black people killing black people in Chicago? Well, for the same reason that white people are killing other white people, black people, brown people, and others, specifically in the South and all over America, all over the world. Why do you got white people, Russians, who are killing other white people, quote unquote, whiteness? Now let me explain something for you guys, especially for the Bill Maher fans and the MAGA cult members. You do understand this whole concept, this term, definition of whiteness, first of all, it's made up. There's nothing in the human genome. There's nothing in your DNA. If you went and got a DNA test and it came back, it would not say you are 85% white. It would refer to the region of the planet that your ancestors came from, maybe Eastern European ancestry or Italian ancestry or Swedish ancestry or German ancestry or maybe French ancestry or Spain or maybe somewhere from the continent of Africa where my ancestors are from. You know, oh, by the way, Africa, smart asses, because they're like, well, Chicago is not a state. Chicago's a city, not a state. And Bill Maher was talking about cities. Well, he happened to be talking about one city in a state. But just in case you didn't know, Africa is a continent. Like North America is a continent. The United States is a country on the continent of North America, along with Central America like Mexico and Costa Rica and Panama and Canada. So Africa is a continent, and it could be like my ancestry could be from places like Nigeria, from the Ivory Coast, from Ghana, Liberia, South Africa, so many African countries, even Egypt, because I know that's a whole nother conversation. Because Egyptians are not really, are they black? And well, you know, there are a lot of Greeks in Egypt and blah, blah, because there's debate about Cleopatra. Get a map. Don't take my word for it. You can do your homework. Here's a homework assignment. Do your own homework. Google search it. Now, don't go to Fox News or Newsmax or OAN because they've been lying to you, but they're lying to you because lying and pissing you off and making you think the reason that maybe your jobs got shipped to Taiwan or Southeast Asia was because of a black person or a brown person from Mexico or Central America or Guatemala, someplace like that, or Colombia. Maybe because it was a woman, or maybe because some trans person or a gay man or a lesbian, a bisexual man or woman, or a queer person. No, it was really probably, in most cases, like virtually 99% of the cases, it was somebody that had your whiteness, skin pigmentation, that sat in the boardroom with a spreadsheet or something like that and made a decision on what was going to happen with your job and where it was going to be exported to. Or same people who want you to pay you, or maybe you got a grandmother or a grandfather or an uncle or aunt that was paying like $700, $800, $900, $1,000 for insulin, but now, especially if they are a senior, they only got to pay $35 a month. Who is it that was charging you or your grandma $600, $700, $800 a month, and she's on a fixed income for insulin? Wasn't no black people that was making that decision. But I digress. So let me bring it back, because you can go back and binge watch. You can learn. I had that conversation about where this whole concept of whiteness came from, which it came from Europe in like all around 1680, 1681. It was only a handful of quote unquote white men, white people who were wealthy, who controlled all the economic, social, and political power. But they had to come up with a system. It's like, wait a minute, okay, pretty soon that these fools are going to wake up. So we got to come up with what my grandfather called a trick bag. We got to be able to put them in a trick bag. Oh, let's come up with this concept of race. And so the ones that kind of look like us that we really don't like, and I don't want to be bothered with at all, because we are better than them, but we got to make them think that they are better than them darker folks. So let's come up with something called whiteness, race. Yeah. Now, there have been times where you've had poor working class white people realize that that was bullshit and it was a con. Like the Bacon's Rebellion here in like the late 1600s, I believe, right around. Google Bacon's Rebellion. Basically, that was when those here in America of African descent, Africans that were brought here, who were enslaved, and then you had like the poor working class white person, German, probably Irish in a lot of cases. A lot of the overseers were Irish because they didn't, this country did not want the Irish here. Those founding fathers and all those, the people who founded this country that had money, no, they went crazy about the Irish, Italians, Jews, Germans, Eastern Europeans, Chinese. They didn't want their ass here either. They even had like anti-immigration laws in the 1800s that said in the language, the federal government, the U.S. government wrote and passed these anti-immigration laws to keep Italians and Irish and Eastern Europeans, to try to keep them from coming. Or, they didn't want any more. They like, all right, we got enough. But eventually, those Italian immigrants, way back in the late 1700s, 1800s, and Irish immigrants, Jewish immigrants, German immigrants, even though the Jewish immigrants, that was a whole different thing because, a lot of them still had to deal with racism, and just another term of it, anti-Semitism, which is racism, just racism against Jews. Same deal. Hate. It's all rooted in hate, fear, and ignorance. But just Google the Bacon's Rebellion. We had these poor working class white like overseers who they were like overseeing the enslaved people. But, I guess they sat down and had a conversation, and somebody, pulled them out of their trick bags like, yo, he ain't crazy about you. We working for free, but you working for pennies, and you ain't never gonna make enough money to buy no land and plantation and buy no slaves. So he got you in the trick bag like us, but he got you thinking you better than us, and he don't like you either. And guess what? That mentality still exists today. But I digress, because I didn't mean to give you all a history lesson. So let me get back. So we shouted out Tim Nolan, a.k.a. Shithole, Co-Burner 42, a.k.a. Dipshit, Barber Dime 35, and Ali Andromeda. Ali Andromeda. So hey, Ali Andromeda, I did answer Bill Maher's question. Now apparently you weren't listening, you didn't pay attention, you couldn't comprehend, or maybe you just don't want to hear the truth. You can't handle the truth. It could be all the above. It could be, and let me shout out B. Burden. Thank you, B. Burden, for actually listening, understanding, comprehending, and just speaking the truth. So, here's the deal. And to Bill Maher, so y'all send this part right here, screen grab it and send it to Bill Maher. So Bill Maher, I offered you, it wasn't a challenge. I'm inviting you to come to Chicago. I will fly home, my first home. Where I am on the East Coast in the Carolinas is my second home. I will meet you there. I will take you like the heart of like all the neighborhood where the news is really focused in on now. Like Inglewood. Oh, Inglewood is, oh my God, if you step outside your door, they'll shoot and kill you. No, not exactly. You got people that live in Inglewood that go to work, come home, kids go to school, come home. And the majority of people, they live in neighborhoods like Inglewood, my old neighborhood before I moved to Hyde Park, and then down on the Gold Coast, or in Austin on the west side, where the current mayor of Chicago, Mayor Johnson, Brandon Johnson, grew up in Austin, or maybe out in Roseland, or maybe out in Auburn Gresham, or South Shore now, or Chatham, or Bronzeville. All these neighborhoods, I could go, Kenwood. I could keep naming, Pill Hill. I could keep going and on and on. Altgale Gardens. We can do this all day. West Lawndale, Garfield Park. Come on. K-Town. We can do this all day. So come on to Chicago. And what you should do, because here's my thing. Because you asked the question, and why aren't black celebrities speaking out? Why do only black celebrities need to speak out? And speaking out, that's one thing. What are you going to do about it? There's a classic line in one of my favorite movies, Untouchables. The only, as far as I'm concerned, the only James Bond, Sean Connery and Kevin Costner. Kevin Costner played like this federal agent, Elliot Ness, and they were going after Al Capone, who was this legendary gangster in Chicago. Google Al Capone if you don't know who that is. And the scene was, and he just, every time Elliot Ness thought that he had Al Capone and was going to lock him up for murder and mayhem and selling bootlegging liquor, because then prohibition meant it was illegal. You couldn't buy beer. So, y'all shooting Bud Light cans. You couldn't buy Bud Light back then. So, Elliot Ness, played by Kevin Costner, was frustrated, complaining like he needed a drink. He was depressed. He was like he wanted to give up. He went over to Sean Connery's house, and the character that Sean Connery played, he was a police officer. He played this Irish cop in Chicago. There's a history because a lot of, for decades, the Chicago Police Department primarily were filled by Irish people, the Irish Americans that were in Chicago. And there's a whole story behind that too. I'll tell you about that one day. But so Sean Connery looked Kevin Costner, he looked Elliot Ness in his eye. He told him, okay, you're going to have to get your hands dirty, bloody. It's going to be bloody. It's going to be dirty. Then he looked at him. He said, what are you prepared to do about it? Don't talk about it. Don't tell me about it. Now, you've asked me questions. I've told you what you can do. If you want to take down Al Capone, I just told you how to do it. Now, what are you prepared to do about it? That's what I asked Bill Maher, since she was so concerned about black people killing black people in Chicago. What are you prepared to do about it? And if you're not prepared to do anything about it, I would just recommend you keep Chicago out of your mouth, because all you're doing is reinforcing a racist narrative. And thank you, shout out to B. Burton, who pointed that out, to Dipshit and Shithole and Ali Andromeda and who else? Barbara Dime 35 on Instagram. That the media, the corporate media, or these large media companies, for decades, have basically been a part of just the institutional racism, just the racists that were influenced by this ideology of, you can call it white nationalism. I know y'all probably want to call it white supremacy. Nothing supreme in fear and ignorance and bigotry and hate. But America is rooted in that. Yes, America is a great country. And many black folks made it great along with white folks and everybody else that was here. The Mexican American brothers and sisters that will tell you that we didn't cross the border. Just talk to some folks, some Hispanic brothers and sisters that know their history. down in South Texas and New Mexico. New Mexico, think about it. That's the arrogance that we had the nerve to basically take Mexico's land and then call a state New Mexico. We're going to call it New Mexico. Arizona, Southern California. Like LA, way back in the day, Google it, do your history. Oh, that was part of Mexico. They said, listen, we didn't cross the border. Mexicans didn't cross the border crossed over on us. It's a whole different conversation. But the media, for a while now, they have kind of caught on and wanted to reinforce this notion that Chicago was like this dangerous, a scene from, I can't even think of the movie right now, Blade Runner. In one of these movies, like some kind of like hellhole apocalypse, like if you stick your head out of the door, folks are just going to like blow it off. And the truth is, there are pockets, the majority of the city don't see violence. And the majority, the 99% of black people that live in Chicago are not shooting at each other or getting shot at. Now the 1%, maybe 2% or whatever, is too many, but the same thing is happening to white people. Maybe not in Chicago, but here in South Carolina, in Mississippi, in Louisiana, in Arkansas, in Alabama, in Missouri, Tennessee, right here in South Carolina. And it was like, well, Chicago is a city and those southern states are states. So, if you want to talk about crime rate, you talk about it because, so the narrative is Chicago's the most dangerous city. Somebody said, one of these fools said, oh, Chicago's more dangerous than over there in Baghdad or Iraq or in Kabul. Really? It's more dangerous than a war zone over in the Middle East or in Kabul. And it's more dangerous than Afghanistan. You've had people say that. It's like, yo, dumbass, really? So let's bring some receipts, because I got some receipts or facts for you. Now, I mentioned it last night. First of all, let me now, I'm going to try this again. So Ali, Mr. Andromeda, let me explain to you the reasons, not just in cities like Chicago, but even in rural areas or areas where you've got like white people that are poor, economically depressed, no money, no job opportunities. Maybe they live in a little town that you had one big company that virtually hired everybody, and it was the economic engine, and they packed up and left, and now those towns are ghost towns. Some of them are coming back now because the current administration is reinvested in infrastructure. But you know what creates a climate of hopelessness, anger, resentment that leads to crime? When people don't have job opportunities, when your children don't have job opportunities, when they are inferior schools, or when they close down schools and their kids have to travel miles and miles and miles to go to a school. And then when those schools are banning books, that's going to make them smart. Let's ban books. Let's ban all the books. But my question to all of you all that's banning books, are you banning the Turner Diaries and Mein Kampf? Oh, what is the Turner Diaries? So the Turner Diaries is like a blueprint. They'll call it a manifesto. It's like a blueprint. It's supposed to be a novel where you had these white nationalists who hated the government, hated black folks and Jews and gays and women, everybody. They were plotting to like create this race war and blow up shit. And Mein Kampf is just like, it's about Hitler. I'm just going to leave it at that because I don't even want to promote it. But I'm just saying, I never heard Governor Too Short Ron DeSantis, who I'm going to talk about in a second. All these folks here in South Carolina, I'd never heard. You want to ban Toni Morrison's book. You want to ban Alex Haley's Roots, the autobiography of Malcolm X. But I ain't never heard nobody say we should ban the Turner Diaries of Mein Kampf. So a book promoting domestic terrorism, racism, anti-Semitism, murder, and promoting Nazism and the Holocaust, Mein Kampf. Oh, that's all right. Keep that. And even the Turner Diaries is it's a novel. So it doesn't even have any historical, factual relevance. We can hold on to that. Y'all can read that. Let your kids read that. I'm sure that'll help them to grow up to be outstanding citizens. But when any community, regardless, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, Native American, Irish, Italian, German, Swedish, Finnish, Scottish, from Scotland, Ireland, from Australia, India, China, you name it. When there's lack of jobs, job opportunities, when companies when there's no money or capital for people who would be entrepreneurs to open up businesses in those economically depressed communities that could hire young people, where cities, states, federal governments, when they don't give states and cities money or assist those cities and states where they can have summer jobs for young people and maybe partner up, have a public-private, what they call partnership, where you get corporation, federal governments to work together and say, hey, you know what? Okay, we're Boeing. Let's go ahead and partner up with the public schools in Chicago or New York City or in Atlanta or some rural small town, or maybe like Cedar Rapids, Iowa, Lawrence, Kansas, to create opportunities for young people to learn the skills that they need. You know, wouldn't it be nice if Google and all these companies, all these new tech companies that's at the leading edge of artificial intelligence, if they partnered up, with schools all across the country, so kids in elementary school and middle school, even before they got to high school, could begin to learn what they needed to learn so they will be able to step into those jobs of the future. Oh, by the way, let's talk about, especially in the rural areas, in some areas in the big cities, you close hospitals down. You don't want to eliminate medical debt or student debt. No, we can't do that. But like all these millionaire politicians that's working for the federal government in the United States House of Representatives, I didn't know they had so many millionaires. Well, I did. No, I lied. They got the PPP loans forgiven. The crazy woman down in Georgia, she, I think, her business got a PPP loan forgiven. Oh, you ain't got to pay it back. It was close to $500,000. One dude, he got his loan forgiven for like $1.3 million. But y'all tripping. So forgive your loans, but we can't relieve student loan debt or medical debt. So that's why black people that are living in economically depressed neighborhoods in Chicago and white people in economically depressed neighborhoods all over in the South, rural America, Appalachia, that's why they're killing each other. Now, last night, I told you, let me do this. 7 out of the top 10 states, the top 10 states with the highest murder rates: Mississippi, number 1, Louisiana, Alabama, Missouri, Arkansas, South Carolina, where I am, Tennessee. You got that? Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Missouri, Arkansas, South Carolina, Tennessee. Now, for the smart asses out there, so Mr. Ali Andromeda, you see what I got right here? Since you were like, well, he was talking about cities, not states. Okay, just for you Bill Maher fans and you MAGA cult members, I got the receipts. You can probably see, oh, look, St. Louis, Missouri. Number 1, the highest murder rates, cities. Let's see where Chicago shows up on this list. Number 2, Baltimore, Maryland. You see, I'm going to do this like I'm at the, there you go. I'm going to do it like I'm at the Academy Awards, like it's an envelope. Number 3, not even on the continental United States, but it's a U.S. territory. San Juan, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico. Number 4, actually, city I love. I worked there for 3 years. Detroit basketball. A lot of plants, a lot of the big 3 auto workers laid off a lot of people. And all they call ancillary businesses that supported those, big 3 automakers. Got people economically depressed. Okay, number 5. Now this is a city that's in a state that's pretty white. I worked there for a year. I know. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Oh, look, number 6. A city that I love, a city that my oldest daughter got proposed to by my son-in-law. I love this city. Love to go down there to the Essence Festival. Just love to go down there and hang out. New Orleans, or New Orleans. When I learned this, no, it's not. We don't call it New Orleans. It's New Orleans. Some say Narlands. Number 7, Cleveland, Ohio. Okay, where's Chicago? Now, this is the top 15. I'm looking for Chicago. I haven't seen. Oh, wait, hold on. Nah. Number 8, Atlanta. Number 9, Las Vegas. Ain't a whole bunch of black folks in Las Vegas. I don't know. Number 10. I know it ain't a bunch of black folks here. Or number 11 is different. Number 10, Kansas City, Missouri. Number 11, Memphis, Tennessee. Waiting on Chicago. Okay, now this is one of the whitest states. So, you got some black folks there, but the majority of the city, the majority of the metro area is pretty damn white. Like about as white as this paper. Number 12, Indianapolis, Indiana. And as you can see, Newark, New Jersey, it's number 13. Okay, we only got 2 cities left. Damn, Chicago, supposedly if you look at the news media, the most dangerous city in the universe. Oh, even if you think the word Chicago, a bullet will come somewhere and shoot you in the head. Well, I'm just telling you now, it ain't 14 and it ain't 15. I can just tell you that. Number 14. Ooh, Columbus, Ohio. Hey, Jim Jordan, didn't you go to New York City, talk about the crime rate, and talk about the fact that they had a black mayor and a black police chief, and the crime rate is, do you know Columbus, Ohio? Facts. You can do your own homework or research. You can just find FBI statistics. The crime rate in Columbus, Ohio is 3 times higher. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 3 times higher than New York City. And it ain't a bunch of black folks. The only black folks probably, well, I got a friend that works there. Shout out to Divine Martino. She's a program director at a radio station here. But trust me, the majority of that city and metro is white. Probably the majority of the black folks in Columbus are either playing football or basketball at the Ohio State University. And Houston, Texas is number 15. And I'll be damned. No Chicago, nowhere on the list. Damn it, Fox News has been lying to you. Damn, CNN, which has now become Fox News or fake news, I call it faux news, F-A-U-X. So Fox News, I've been saying faux news or Republican state TV, like America's version of Pravda, which is like, or now it's RT, Russian television. Faux news, F-A-U-X. And now CNN, Fox News or faux news light. And then they still got like Newsmax and One America Network. And those are just the ones that are not openly calling, well, Fox News, no. People on there have been calling for civil riots, civil war, race riots, race wars, and civil wars. Yeah, they've had a bunch of, heck, Tucker Carlson in so many words now. Just go back and look at some of Tucker Carlson's. Woo! Man, you talking about racist. I see why Russian TV wants to give him a job. Oh my God. But as bad as Tucker Carlson was, it's some other ones. It's some other platforms. Woo! That the FBI had to say, oh, y'all done went a little too damn far. Really? So, once again, but I want to thank all the Bill Maher fans. Bill Maher, so I hope you learned something. But I'm inviting you. I'll meet you in Chicago. I'll rent a car. I don't need to rent a car. I got friends that take us around. Bunch of, shout out to my wardrobe consultant and stylist, Bruce Gage. Shout out to my man, Bill Cooper. My longest friendship since I was in 5th grade. To my brother, Fantan, nickname because he was a fantastic basketball player in high school back in the day at Kenwood High School. Michael Bryant, my man Pete Frazier, Majestic Gents. We'll take you all around. Everywhere. We'll show you where the project, we'll show you where Cabrini Green, remember the show Good Times? It was depicted in a Chicago housing project called Cabrini Green, which has been leveled a long time ago. Now, any property on that land, you had to pay about $1 million to get in there. Townhouse, whatever it is. They just raised that. Robert Taylor Homes, south side of Chicago, Stateway Gardens, Icky Homes, Stateway Gardens, Robert Taylor. It's like this huge stretch going down like the middle of the south side of Chicago. All that's gone. They've gentrified it, fixed it. So I'll give you all the history. I'll take you over to Inglewood. I'll set it up and I'll let you meet with the violence interrupters, the brothers and sisters that's like out there on the street like right now, while I'm on camera talking to you, trying to educate your dumb ass. They are out there in the streets trying to save lives and just keep chaos and mayhem and just keep the peace. That's who we need to support. Now, that's where your money, you want to do something, you could use some of that HBO money and your tour money to support these violence interrupters in Chicago. I can introduce you to them. You sit down, talk to them yourself. They let you sit down, talk with some of the brothers that's out there, as they say, doing what we call back in the day, doing a do-lo. And you find out at the root of it, a lot of it is fear. They feel they have to carry a gun because they don't want to get bullied. They'll get bullied or robbed. So they feel they got to carry a gun to protect themselves. Somebody will get shot sometimes because these fools can't shoot. They ain't going to the range. They wind up shooting the wrong person. Then that family member wants retaliation, and it's just a vicious, vicious cycle. And many of these young people feel that they have no hope. They feel like the adults around them don't give a damn about them. They're dealing with all kind of trauma, real mental trauma, where they need therapy and really perfect, and not just them. There's trauma. The entire family, they've been dealing with the trauma of trying to get out of poverty and just dealing with just the institutional and outright open racism and sexism and misogyny that they have to deal with. So holla at me. Leave me a message right here. I got you. Geno Jones Show on Instagram. DM me, Bill. Because your boys, they've been DMing me. One of my block, because he was just, sometimes the energy, I'm like, block. But the other ones I didn't block. So they'll probably jump on again. Because y'all don't give a damn about black folks. You don't. You want to believe in it because you feel you're better than black folks, so you bought into this racist narrative. But we don't talk about, remember that country music concert in Vegas when the old white dude went and shot and killed all the white people? Think about that. Look at what happened out in Uvalde. What about Columbine when them two white kids went and killed all them white kids? What about the crazy dude who went and, here's the thing. Talk about this gun violence. When I knew, I'm like, we on another level. When you had that white kid that murdered those babies in Sandy Hook, white kids that were babies, first graders, and these politicians and the folks with money and power was like, the Second Amendment, we can't ban assault weapons. We can't ban assault-style weapons because the gun is not the problem. It's the person with the gun. Yeah, but if the person didn't have that type of weapon of war, they couldn't kill as many people, as many babies as fast as they did. Maybe they wouldn't be able to kill anybody. And before I go, two things real quick. Shout out to Governor Too Short. That's what I call him. Ron the Dumbass. That's a new nickname for him. The governor of I want to be Donald Trump so bad, I got my head stuck up Donald Trump's ass so far. If Donald Trump opens his mouth, you can see my face instead of his tonsils. That's how far Ron DeSantis has got his head stuck up Donald Trump's ass. So he's really trying to be like a little mini-me Orange Hitler. So he's been picking a fight. He's been banning books about black history. He really wants to really ban black people, immigrants. So he really ain't crazy about the Hispanic community, which is very diverse. Because it's heavily Cuban, but you got like Afro-Latinos. So you got Afro-Cubans, and you got folks from Haiti, some from the DR, Dominican Republic. I was in Miami, last summer, and there's a lot of people from, I think, Venezuela. I was like, really? Yeah, there's a lot of Venezuelan women and men in Miami that have just trying to escape the madness. So, but Governor Too Short, Mr. Ron DeSantis, he's been picking a fight, like I said, a 6-week abortion ban. So basically telling women, even if the woman has been raped or if the child has been a victim of rape or incest, it's like, well, it's too bad. Can't terminate the pregnancy. We're going to force a 10 or 12-year-old child to carry the child of her rapist. That's in Governor Too Short DeSantis' world. So doing all that, he would, like I said, he didn't ban the Turner Diaries or Mein Kampf, talking about starting a race war, a civil war, a new civil war, and overtaking the government. That's the Turner Diaries. Or just, the whole Nazi madness of the book Mein Kampf. No, don't ban that one, but ban Toni Morrison, Alex Haley, James Baldwin books. Yeah, ban those. But he met his match because he's been picking a fight with Disney. Who picks a fight with Mickey and Minnie Mouse? Disney World. So he got so bold that he wanted to build a prison right next to Disney World. Well, guess what happened? Disney World has sued his ass today. Basically saying, I'm not a lawyer, so I didn't want to read the legal statement, but just basically saying he is threatening their economic viability. That means, look, you messing with our money, and you are infringing on our civil rights, our constitutional rights. Boy, they got a good legal team. You should read what they had to say. So good luck with that, Governor Too Short. Your arms are too short to box with Disney. There was a play. There was a play that was really popular in the black community back in the day. It was called "Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with God." Disney, in no way, they ain't nowhere near God because they're not perfect. Disney they just laid off about almost 8,000 people. So Disney, they are problematic, but they are inclusive in their hiring practices. Our family, my two daughters and my son-in-law, me, Damaris, we spent Christmas in Disney. They are very, very, they welcome everybody. They make everybody feel like they're at home. They want you to come back because they want that money. And they're getting a lot of it. And Disney said, now, I thought Disney was just going to say, like, F Ron DeSantis. Look, we out. They could go anywhere. I mean, countries like, what, the Bahamas, Nassau, Jamaica. Man, if I was the prime minister, I'm like, look, y'all could change the name of the island. Even though I heard there's a Disney island. You could call it Jamaica Disney, Disney Jamaica, the Bahama Disney. Change the name. Build whatever the hell you want to build with all that money that Disney brings to Florida. F around, you done effed around and found out. Do you know if Disney left Florida? Whoa, you're talking about poverty. The state that state's economy would collapse if Disney just up and packed up their employees, the taxes that they pay. Come on, man. Okay, Governor Too Short. Fooled around and found out. I got to get out of here. Happy birthday to Tion Watkins, who is Tion, a.k.a. T-Boz. If you are a fan of TLC, you know who T-Boz is. She turned 53 today, another fellow Taurian. Happy birthday, T-Boz. We're going to celebrate like all of April and all of May. And then the Geminis can jump in too. But all of us Tauruses, you know, we celebrate the whole month. So you can come on and celebrate in May too with me. R&B singer, good dude. Got a chance to meet him, MC some of his shows, a good dude. Hope he's doing well. Avant, Myron Lavelle Avant, R&B singer. Avant. He was killing the game. Him and Kiki Wyatt, they've done some classic duets, some collaborations. Avant is 48 today. And for all you New York Yankees fans, Aaron Judge, here comes the Judge. Here comes the Judge. Everybody, look out. Here comes the Judge. Aaron Judge, superstar, Major League Baseball superstar. The American League home run king, all-time home run last year. He hit 62 home runs. He's 31 today. Wow. Shout out to everybody watching me live. I got a lot of conversations in the chat room. Yeah. Shout out to Randall Reed. Randall, I see you, brother. And of course, my number one fan, executive producer, Mary Dixon. That's my mother. Mother, I love you more than life itself. Thank you for watching. Everybody, and I mean everybody. Bill Maher and crew and the MAGA cult members. I love. Oh, yeah. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Come to you live Monday through Friday, 6:30 p.m. unless otherwise stated. Please please subscribe to the Geno Jones Show YouTube channel. Please screen grab. Man, you got a lot of stuff to make viral on this. Grab some of this. Send, like I said, I was addressing Bill Maher. Send that about 2-minute clip. Send that to Bill Maher. Send it to your friends. Send it to the folks that you know that really just hate diversity, that hate fairness, equity, compassion, humanity, decency, that just want chaos, anarchy, that want to take over the government, start a new civil war. Send them this show, because they might learn something. Maybe like, damn, I've been lied to by the folks I've been worshiping. They lied to my ass. And they're the reason I haven't got a raise in 30 years, and I lost health insurance, and they closed a hospital down here in my little small town. Subscribe, share, like, and binge watch all my back episodes. Shout out to Mr. Markel Bailey, the official barber and hairstylist for the Geno Jones Show. He is the CEO of Designer Cuts in the Charleston, South Carolina Metro. And happy birthday, happy belated birthday Monday. Markel had a birthday, another Taurian. Check him out on Instagram, Kel Be Cutting Up, KELBECUTTINUP, because Kel be cutting up. Mr. Bruce Gage, big shout out to Mr. Bruce Gage. He is a wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. He's got the Mario Cuomo collection, his own personal line, great looking suits, pants, shirts, ties, everything, you name it. The Mario Cuomo collection is amazing. He also has a collection of other amazing designers, some of the hot, new and up-and-coming designers from all over the world, Europe, France, Italy, Germany, some up-and-coming, talented, black designers. Just check him out. And the Flyball collection, which is the officially licensed Negro League baseball gear. You love it. So it's M.I., Bruce Gage on Instagram, Miglio di Mario Cuomo. That's an Italian name, so it's MIGILIODIMARIOUOMO. That's MIGILIODIMARIOUOMO. And Allie Jones, the drip director, the official wardrobe consultant and stylist for the Geno Jones Show. She's a fashion designer, a fashion design major, and a supermodel at Columbia College, Chicago, my alma mater. Shout out to CCC. The Cougars represent. Check out Allie Jones on Instagram, LX.NCL. Underscore is that little dash at the bottom. LX.N, like Nanette, C like Charlie, L like Lexi, underscore. The next live edition of the Geno Jones Show is going to be Thursday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for watching, everybody, and as always, be blessed. Pray for peace, because love will always conquer hate. Light will always rush out, push out darkness. Thanks for watching.
Subscribe and tune in to the next episode of the Geno Jones Show, exclusively right here on YouTube.